another cool thing we can do to our graphic illustrations is add textures to them. Now, these flat graphics do look pretty cool, but sometimes it can be even more um, striking if you add some textures, especially if you only add textures to some of it. So let's look at how to do that. First, I'm going to go to Google and just type in a texture. That wall is concrete, so I'm just going to look at concrete, and let's concrete, and now we can just go to images. Ordinarily, I would try to refine the search to give me big images, but because this is such a small scale, it doesn't really matter. Let's try this. This looks pretty nice. I'm going to just copy this image in, and then I'm going to go into Illustrator and paste it. This picture is enormous, so the first thing I need to do is scale it down. So I'm going to hold down Shift and scale it down. Okay, now I can zoom back in, and let's use this picture. And what I want to do here is put a blending mode onto this image. And I can do that on opacity. You see where it says normal. So normally we would think of opacity as like turning down the amount of, how much of the color we see. But something else we can do with opacity, and I might turn the opacity down, is change the blending mode. And this should seem a little bit reminiscent of Photoshop. And now we can just change how much light is showing through or how much darkness is showing through. And I'm just gonna play around with this until I find one that I think looks right. I think multiply was really our best one that we had in the beginning, like that. And now what we can do is, yeah, I think that multiply was our best one. Look how cool that looks though. It changes the color. The gray is changing the green and green to blue. Yeah, let's just go back to multiply. And what I want to do is make this um, this concrete only show up by this area. So what I need to do is make a mask. To do that, I'm going to select this shape and I'm going to copy it. So Command C. And now what I want, because I want to have this there to begin with, but I want to put this back where it was. And now I'm going to hit Command F, which is paste in place. Now we have two shapes. We have the one on top, and it's kind of like the texture is sandwiched in between. Now I can select this top one and this concrete, and I can hit Object, Clipping Mask, and then Make. And now we've created this clipping mask. See? I think that this is really too dark here, so I am going to change the opacity and lower it. Or maybe I think the solution could also be to find a different picture of concrete that's lighter. Or to make these lighter to make that look darker by comparison, just to mess around with the colors. But doing that can change how the picture looks once you start adding textures. We can add a texture to this and to this, but each shape would probably need its own texture. We could add a grass texture to that grass area. And these textures can look pretty cool once you start using them. And now we can change the blending mode on that. Wow, so strange. I love when it starts looking a little weird. That can be pretty fun. Of course, each picture and each graphic will require a different kind of a different solution, and there are different ways to do it. This is just the way that I have found. And now I'm gonna hide that. So now we can copy. So that's Command or Control C, and then Let's turn this back on. Now I'm going to paste it in place. So that's Command or Control F. Now we should have another ellipse, but it's all the way down here. I'm going to use a shortcut, Command or Control Shift bracket, the bracket that's closer to the end of the keyboard, and now that just bumped this all the way to the top. I can select this shape, and now create a mask by holding down Command or Control 7. There we go. And now we've created this mask. Although it is coming in front here, what we might want to do is just select all of this and put it in front. So I'm going to use that shortcut again, Command Shift bracket. So it's just a matter of playing around until you get something that you like.